Hey everybody, welcome to another Playful Humans podcast. I am your host, Mike Montague, and my guest this week is Lenny Ravich. He's an optimism guru from Tel Aviv, and we're going to talk to him about his book, Everlasting Optimism. We'll talk to him about his Gestalt awareness healing therapy and all kinds of great stuff around humor, creativity, and laughter. I'm really looking forward to this one. You can find Lenny at lennyravich.org. You can find Playful Humans at playfulhumans.com, where we help other adults rediscover the power of play. All right, here we go. The best moves I've had from a guest so far. Congratulations, you're already winning the podcast here. But we like to start with the joke of the week. The joke of the week is brought to you by Glass Coffins. Will Glass Coffins be a success? Remains to be seen, but Glass Coffins
remains to be seen.
You got it. All right, the official joke of the week, not as funny. All right. Lenny, what is the funniest animal on the farm?
A horse.
The comedy hen.
Comedy hen. Okay.
Okay, there's two. You got one for me?
That's even better than remains to be seen. Right, okay.
I kind of like the coffin one better.
So, my favorite joke, it's really not my favorite, but it is my favorite short one, is this woman goes to a priest and she says, I got to get divorced from my husband. And the priest says, why? And she says, because he thinks he's a refrigerator. He gets up in the middle of the night and says, I'm a refrigerator. So the priest says, does he beat you? Is he abusive? No, he's a good man. He just thinks he's a refrigerator. So the priest says, well, just accept him. And she says, I can't. He sleeps with his mouth open and the light bothers me.
I like that. That's good. That'll get us started in the good mood. I'm just getting up. You're kind of getting ready to wrap up the day over there, right? So
yeah, we're in Tel Aviv. Yeah,
put us in the great mood. Tell us how you become an optimism guru.
You say so. I mean, you just get up in the morning and you make a commitment that everything that happens today is going to be for the best. And you make a commitment, you do that every day. It's a decision. So how do you become one? You practice at it. How does Schwarzenegger get that body? But to the gym every day. So you get up every day and I look in the mirror and I say, I'm 86. Okay. That's funny. So I look at the mirror and I say, I'm still here. And I laugh. I really laugh at the mirror. I go, I'm still here. And I go out with a great feeling, great energy, and I make sure that absolutely nobody can ruin my day. That's a commitment. Today is going to be a great day. People ask me, how are you? My answer is always, and they expect the answer. Now is my best moment because there is no other moment. One guy, a neighbor of mine who is religious, said to me, now is the best moment because there is no other moment. Something is wrong with you. Don't you ever watch the news? And I told him my wife doesn't watch the news. She videotapes the news. She videos the news so she can watch it again. Why suffer just one time? And then she'll watch it again the week after and look at it and say, boy, am I glad that's over. So there's another way of being optimistic. Looking at the news from a video and saying, great, that's over.
That is an interesting way to look at it for sure. Yeah. I'm with you. I feel like you already nailed several things we like to talk about on this podcast. But one for me is I think I jinxed us in 2020. I'm not joking. March 8th of 2020, I got on stage in front of 1,200 people and I said, now is the best time to be alive. You know, we have modern dentistry. We have all this opportunity. We have technology. Life is amazing. and then the next week the world shut down. But I
Right.
still go with the thing that we wouldn't necessarily trade now for even 5 or 10 years ago, because humans are always making progress, and we forget that. We have always also worried about ending the world and the planet, and it hasn't happened yet in 60,000 years.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
9, 8.
You're saying I jinxed us again. I just did it again.
You
Man,
did
I
it
didn't
again.
learn my lesson.
No, now is the best time. I mean, if you look back at history and you find all the diseases that we died from, and children in childbirth, and people who were in poverty, and you look at the world today, we're really in a place of abundance. Right now, it's never been this great all over the world, and people are getting out of poverty all the time. And people are just saying, "Oh, there's poverty, and there's this," and they look at the victims, and people don't realize the hundreds and thousands of millions of people who just died from disease. Just 100 years ago, from the Spanish flu, they dropped like flies. Okay, and we're worried about Corona. I mean, do me a favor.
Yeah, I mean,
Actually,
even with
Corona,
all
when
the
Corona
wars
came,
and
I think,
everything else, it's been the most peaceful time to be alive
yeah.
too, which is crazy to think. But just because we hear about more stories doesn't mean that there actually are more stories. That's
Well, if it bleeds, it leads. You know, you've got to watch TV. They're going to show you what remains to be seen. They'll show you something that's happening. They'll take the camera and go right into some kind of a riot or some kind of violence. And, oh my God, the world is going crazy. This is how they sell peanut butter.
So I want to dive in with you because I feel like you're an expert here. You had a school for quite a long time. I'd love to hear more about your background too. So we'll circle back to that. But I want to ask you about healing therapy via humor, creativity, and laughter. It
Yes.
seems like I would rather choose those 3 than surgery, pills, and whatever
Depression.
else the options are. Any kind of drugs or alcohol. So how come more people don't do that?
More people don't join.
Heal through laughter, creativity, and humor.
I don't
instead
know.
of drugs and
I
alcohol.
didn't know that more
pills.
people don't do it. My experience is that more and more people are.
Mm.
I mean, when I first started out back in '93, people were laughing, but they were laughing at me, even suggesting that I was going to go out and teach people how to laugh and how to have humor and how to be an optimist. They were laughing at me. Now you have all over the world. Just check it out. Yoga laughter leaders all over the world. I belong to clubs that have yoga laughter leaders. They get together. There's a teacher in India, he's a doctor, and he said the pills just didn't help his patients, so he took him out to the park and taught him how to laugh. He taught what is called yoga laughter. I studied with him. His name is Madan Kataria. I studied in the United States. I went to a place in the United States called the Applied Humor and Therapy, Applied, whatever, AATH. I can't remember. And
I'll figure it out.
I used to go there every single year, give keynotes, listen to people, listen to experiences. So my experience is that more and more people are getting bit by the bug of laughter, humor, optimism, and positivity. Positivity. I mean, they've done research and found out that positive people live longer, live stronger. So why not? So that's my experience.
I've heard I've looked at the research, and I've really been diving deep into this over the last few years, about 3 years. Started a little before the pandemic, but it really focused on play and creativity and humor, like you talked about here the last 3. And I found a couple of things to be interesting. I think the easiest explanation for me is that life is kind of like a Google search algorithm. If you put in bad news, you're going to get bad news out of it. If you put in good news, you're going to get good news out of it. Your brain chooses to see and give you more of what you're looking for. And so does life. So, is it more than that? Is there something magical or scientific even about optimism that creates these positive results, or is it basically you get what you ask for?
Yeah, well, it's and it's not either or. If you're talking about the science, yeah, you can look into what happens when a person thinks of positive thoughts or watches a positive movie or laughs. There are endorphins in the body. You know all this. You've done the research, and the
Yeah.
endorphins protect your health. They protect your immune system. They make you feel good. There's dopamine. So why not, go for those? You have also in your body cortisol, which is a poison. Whenever you think of something bad, or you get angry, or you're jealous of something, or you're envious of something, your body produces cortisol. That is a killer. And the antidote to that is laughter and humor and positivity. And I catch myself. I mean, it's automatic that you're going to start thinking of bad stuff. It's automatic. You never get out of it. The only way you get out of it is remains to be seen when you get into that glass coffin. But I'll find myself all of a sudden thinking about something negative, and I start going with it. And the thing is, it's called mindfulness. You catch yourself and you say, what am I thinking? Is that going to help me? Is that going to improve my health? Is that going to advance me as a human being, to make me more sensitive, more empathetic, more compassionate and kinder? Or is that going to ruin my day? I don't want it anymore. Get out of here. Get another thought. You just have to keep catching yourself. If you get mindful enough, you can catch yourself, because we're always thinking thoughts all the time. Some of the bad ones come sneaking in all the time. There's not a day that goes by, where it doesn't get me. You gotta struggle. Get out of here. And throw it away. Let me have a good one. Okay. You something, and so it's that. It's scientific. It's what you look for. It's what you ask for. It's what you're grateful for. I go swimming every day, and I'm in a state of grace. I swim, and I'm going, thank you, dear God. I am blessed. Thank you for abundance. Thank you for abundance of love, of optimism, of humor, of wealth, of health. You think that way, like you said in Google. What you put in is what you get out. Okay, so I'm 86 years old, and I laugh a lot. As much as possible, I teach people to laugh because I want to laugh, and that's where the action is. So why not do it? So it is this and this.
Now, I think you just answered it, but I want to ask it one more for our audience members who maybe are not quite sold yet. Do you feel like optimism and pessimism are a personality trait, that people are maybe born or naturally more pessimistic than others? I've heard stats that like maybe only 17% of people are actually naturally optimistic. Most of us are biologically tuned to look for things that will kill us, or pessimism. I heard you just say that you can change that. You can choose not to continue down that path. But do you think there is any natural proclivity or personalities that get in the way?
Yeah, I think. I mean, this is not. It's a theory of mine. I haven't researched it, but I think that people, in order to survive, you have to expect the worst. When you cross the street, you just can't. You have to. You have to drive your car like everybody's out to kill you. I mean, I went to get my car washed today, and I'm thinking to myself, I got a meeting with you at 3:00. I hope I make it back, and I can see all the. So everybody's out there to kill me. You have to be paranoid. So yeah, we're wired to see things that could eventually destroy us, and you got to catch that and say, hey, look, I'm really safe. I've got a wonderful family. I'm safe in my car. I'm a good driver. I'm not drunk right now. Not right now. I'm
When you get home,
seriously, and I'm not kidding with you, but. I'll get there. It's going to be all right, because those thoughts came up. As I said, am I going to meet Mike today, or am I going to be in the hospital? These are things that come up automatically because you have to survive. So it's a survival skill. Also, on the other hand, humor and laughing is also a survival skill. So it's how you train yourself. Because I came from a family that was very cynical, and I didn't know that until I got married, and my wife caught me time after time. Stop doing that. And stop doing that in public. And I did it again. I'll never do it again. I promise. And then, like the 50,000th time, she says, I'm and push me up against the wall. It's like, you do that one more time, off with your head. And I really didn't understand this is what I'm doing. It's part of my script that I got. It's called intergenerational wound that came down from generations to generations to generations. Finally hit me. I call it the hot potato theory. Like my grandmother threw my mother a hot potato. She couldn't handle it. She hands it to me, and I hand it to my kids. At the age of 12, I had to go to my kids and apologize. I had to go to them and say, look, I've been very cynical to you guys. I've been very violent. I came from a violent home. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Don't ever do that to your children what I did to you. The buck stops here. That potato, the hot potato, is stopping in this generation. It came down from many, many generations. It stops now. I caught myself. I went to a couple of, workshops, and I got therapy, and I got married. Oh my God, that cured me somewhat.
I want to ask you more about that for sure, but I did want to roll back to your life before you found this. So if I'm doing the math right, I'm not, you've mentioned the number, so we're not shying away from them. But if you're 86 and you started this in the 80s, is that what you said? What did you do before? Did you ever like work a boring office cubicle job and have to be like, wait, I need to shake myself out of this and find it? What was the arc that led you to discovering optimism?
I call it the yellow brick road, because I never knew that, what step I was going to take next. But I knew that if I'm going to take a step, something's going to happen. And I'm also very lucky because I get visions. Something comes into my head. And one of the visions was theater. Go study theater. So I went to a school in Boston called Emerson College, where I studied theater arts and broadcasting. And I met a girl that I fell in love with, who told me, don't major in theater because nobody needs another aging actor. You have to have something to fall back on. So study English and education, and you might, if you like acting, you're going to love teaching because, you got it. So I got a BA in that, and then I went into the Army. I got drafted into the United States Army. And the day that I was inducted, Elvis Presley was coming out. He was inducted in 57. I was going in 59. And after I got out of the Army, I went straight to New York to become an actor. And I had $30 in my pocket. But I was single. I said, what the hell? And the thing is, I can work. I go to a restaurant. Why do I work in a restaurant? Because you're going to eat. You don't have to have money for food. Okay, you go to a good restaurant. See, I'll wash dishes, bottles. I'll be a waiter. I'll sweep the floor. But I get the best meal. So that was my career as an actor, being in a restaurant, always having something to eat, and then going for auditions. And I succeeded in becoming a Shakespearean actor. I mean, I was actually a professional Shakespearean actor, and I was making money, but I didn't like it. I mean, you're up on stage, doing stuff that there's no relation to the audience. You get back into your dressing room, and you're all by yourself, taking your makeup off, depressed to the point of pain. And so someone came to me and said, would you like to go to a new country? This was back in the 61, 62. There's a place called Israel. They're looking for people to come there because it's a new country. I had no idea where it was. I had to go to the library to look it up. And they're giving a free ticket. That's all I needed to hear, that you get a free ticket. That's all I needed. So I said, okay. So I went, that was the beginning of, so I went and I worked on a kibbutz. Kibbutz is like farming. So I just became a farmer. But that was great food. So that takes care of that.
I'm catching a pattern. Yeah. I'll do a lot, Lenny, if you just say there might be pizza. You don't even actually have to have pizza. You just say there might be pizza. I'm in.
That's about it. And the rest is history. I became an English teacher, and then I came back to the United States with my wife and a child at that time. And I was very lucky all my life. I was very lucky. And I guess it's just that optimism. My sister was living in Birmingham, Alabama. This was 1967. This was integration, the end of Jim Crow. They were looking for English teachers, white, who would go into a black school, volunteer. And there was no such thing as a male teacher in Birmingham, Alabama, especially a Jewish guy, Jewish male teacher in Birmingham. But when they need you, they need you. And they said, they held their nose and said, okay, take the white Jew. And so I worked at this school, and I had used all the education that I had as an actor, and I began to direct musicals at this. And they never knew what a musical, but what talent. I mean, I directed Music Man, I directed Bye Bye Birdie, I directed Guys and Dolls, and I developed an audience. It was a man, and I didn't take a penny for it. It was all volunteer, and I loved it. And it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. And then from there, just follow the yellow brick road, just wherever it takes you, and know this is the optimism about it. And just know that everything is going to work out okay. You might get beat up, you will. You might get a lot of pain, you will. You might fail, you will. But it's not what happens to you, it's how you respond what happens to you. Okay, and this is a formula that I learned. It's called E plus R equals O. E is the event. You're going to have events in your life. You're going to get knocked down. You're going to get bumped. You're going to get hurt. You're going to get rejected. You're going to get unloved. You're going to get divorced. I don't know what happens to you. And then you have plus R, which is your response. How does your response to what's going on? And that leads to O, which is the you want a positive outcome? Okay, then have a positive response. Choose the best response possible situation to get the best possible outcome.
I love that, and I love also what you said. Several things that resonated with me. The first one was that yellow brick road idea that you just kind of, as long as you keep going, the outcome's not decided. So you can still write that by changing your response, right? It's that old Schrodinger's cat is that, like, we don't know the outcome until we get to the end, and it's not yet. So what are you worried about? Like, might be a temporary.
You'll never know the outcome. Forget about it. You'll never know the outcome, and you have no control over anything. The only thing is go, and whatever happens, happens, and you either decide to suffer or you decide to enjoy. I mean, that's it. Okay. And I got this from by the name of Viktor Frankl. He wrote a book, Man's Search for Meaning. Okay. And that book, as well as mine. Mine is called 1, 2, 3. Lasting Optimism, where you can get.
Let's do it and talk about that quick, because that was going to be my next question. What is in there? Who's it for? What's it for?
This is a book called Everlasting Optimism that I wrote, and it's called 9 Principles for Success, Happiness, and Powerful Relationships, because that is what optimism will bring you. And you can get this on Amazon, and you can get it on Kindle. People who like to read it on their phones or on, whatever, you can get it on Kindle. What's in it? About my life, what we're talking about right now, and how I handle it, and how I handle the responses and the outcomes. The outcome you never know. You only have control over the response. That's all you got. Okay, the outcome happens because it's all a process. Life is just a process. It's you're a what is something in progress, perfection in progress. It's like the Constitution of the United States, a perfect nation. You never get to become a perfect nation, but you're aiming for it, and you're becoming a more perfect person as you go along. And the more pain you have, the more meaning in life you have, because you give it meaning, and you the person that you are. Okay, it's not that you get there; you don't get anywhere. It's all about the road. It's all about the yellow brick road that makes you into the person you are at this moment. I mean, this moment, this is an outcome. Talking to you, are you kidding? Is this why I came into the world? You.
I believe it. It just may be, Lenny, but I have one really last, juicy subject for us to dive into before we play a game and get out of here. You've been married 56 years, and I feel like the outcomes of marriage, 60% of them end in divorce, the other 40% end in death. It's with those outcomes. How do you remain optimistic and married for 56 years?
Fear.
Of?
She's afraid to be alone, and I'm afraid of her.
There you go. That's the honest. I like that.
Well, you get the answer in the people read the Bible. They take it literally, but there's really the message. It's like when he created Eve for Adam. It says in Hebrew, he created a woman for Ezra ki negdo. Now the word Ezra is help. And then the word negdo is against him. So she's a helper by being against him. So people look at, she's against me, let's get a divorce. But that against you is what is helping you. Okay, this is in the Bible. You've found a lot of things there that once you start to analyze them, it really, a lot of secrets there, a lot of secrets in the Bible.
Yeah, that is interesting. There's a lot of things that I found are just universal laws of truth that every religion or human, if they think hard enough, kind of discover. And I think optimism is one of those things. It always just made sense to me that if you're pessimistic and you're scarce and you're thinking that people are trying to steal from you or you're trying to steal from other people, you don't have a guide. So eventually you lose or you're going to be alone. And the other way, if you are optimistic, you believe things are going to work out, you believe you're lucky, you believe you can work with people and stay with other people, you're going to attract people and your opportunities, and you're going to eventually find more success that way. So I don't think it's
Well, actually,
it's
you're
not a hard
absolutely
lesson
right.
to learn. It's a hard one to live.
Well, look, you're absolutely right. If you think that people are going to steal from you, because you got to be right. Okay, people have to be
Mm-hmm.
right. And then I told you so. They're going to find somebody, to support them so they can be right, or they'll put themselves in a position to be from or disloyal. And if you're looking for people to trust, you might find a bad egg here and there, and you say, hey, it's a bad egg. Just get rid of it. Those are my life. Holy mackerel! But I learned the most from the bad eggs, the best teachers, man. Okay, so it depends on how you look at it. You look at those people as your teachers, the ones who caused you the pain, the ones who stole from you, the ones who lied to you. Those are the best teachers, because you're not going to be friends. What do they got to teach? Everything is cool. Thanks a lot. It's like that prayer. God, send me more enemies, because a lot to learn. I don't know how much time I got left to be on this planet. Some enemies so I can learn.
I love that, and I think that's a great to end on. We've been talking with Lenny Ravich. He's an optimism guru from Tel Aviv, and you can find him at lennyravich.org. Find anywhere you buy optimism. Check out that book. I think that's the best way to learn more about Lenny and connect. And then if you need a speaker or a guest for anything, go check that out as well as coaching in the happiness and optimism and laughter. I think all of that is amazing, Lenny. But before I let you go, do
you want to play a game?
Shall we play a game? Oh, you're right. I need to change that. That's not
the saw. What is that? The saw?
That was the saw. Shall we play?
Let's play a game.
Okay. I got you awkward questions today. So 3 awkward questions. They don't really have a right answer. I'm just wondering your take. Which animal would you rather have as an indoor pet? A pig or a rooster?
Snake.
Snake. Pig or a rooster?
I think I could handle. I think I could handle a rooster. I think so.
I think I was going to go the other way. Like if you get, it's kind of like a large dog, and I've handled dogs. Roosters, not so sure.
Our dogs.
Yeah. Would you rather appear? Would you rather appear as an extra in a sitcom or a popular music video?
Oh man, that's hard. An extra in a musical or in a
in a music video, like
I think a music video. I think a music. That's more action, more music, more happiness. A sitcom. Do me a favor, okay? Music, so picks your mood up. Yeah, I'll pick that one.
All right, yeah, I like that, and we've already seen you dance.
And I'll take the rooster with you.
You're highly qualified for that one. Okay, now your church pastor tells you and the congregation.
My rabbi, idiot.
Oh, rabbi. There you go. Your rabbi knew that the great flood is coming again, and $10 will reserve your space on his ark. Are you in the ark? Yes or no?
Yes.
All right. Easy
enough. $10. What a gamble, huh?
There you go. I should up that dollar.
And I'm taking the rooster with me.
Hey, there you go. I like it. All right, Lenny, you win. You won the podcast in our game, so that means you get a free 30-second commercial for anything you would like to pitch. Do you have anything you can help us with, or we can help you with?
Just to tell everybody in who's listening to please learn this one sentence and say it time and time again when anybody asks you, how are you? Because I think this will change the wiring in your brain, definitely. Somebody says, how are you? You give them this answer, and don't be ashamed, just say it. Now is my best moment, because there is no other moment. And then wait for their response and watch how they say, what did you say? And then watch how they will keep asking you to see if you're still there. You got to keep doing this. It'll change it'll change the chemistry in your body. Just saying, my best, now is my best moment, because there is no other moment. And that's the absolute truth. Okay. You want a truth? This moment. It's also the worst ever. It is. You know, choose. You want it to be your worst moment. You want it to be your best moment. I choose best. You choose best you want. But I'm giving you this sentence. Use it. You won't be sorry you did every day.
I love it. Thank you so much, Lenny. Lenny Ravich at ravich.org. The book, Everlasting Optimism. Go check it out. If you would like to learn about playful humans, a couple of things you can do here. We'll trade. If you hear this episode with anybody that you think needs to hear it, I will invite you to join the Playful Humans community, and we'll give you reminders every week to rediscover the power of play and be more optimistic, be more happy, be more successful, more creative, and life, and others do the same. Have a good one.
Wait for tomorrow.
Thank you. Have to come back.
Live for today.
Do I leave? I just leave? Just leave. Leave? No?
Go out and play.
There you go. I was waiting for the theme song. All right, now we'll stop. Play, everybody. Hey, you did it. You made it to the end. But don't worry, there are plenty of more videos where that came from. Just click subscribe to Playful Humans to get notified about our future videos. Now, what are you still doing here? Go play.